Hi, and welcome back to this week's Parsha Shir on Sefer Netivot Shalom. The beginning of this week's Parsha, as Korach and his Ada and his group began to rebel against the leadership of Moshe and Aaron, Moshe Rabbeinu falls upon his face and he says to this group, to Korach v'Adaso, Boker v'yoda Hashem es asher lo. In the morning, Boker v'yoda Hashem will make known et asher lo, that which is his. Ve'et hakadosh v'yikre v'elav, and that which is holy, and brought close to him. Ve'et asher yivchar bo yakri v'elav, and the one that he chooses, the one Hashem chooses, will be brought close. He will bring close to him. So Netivot Shalom says there's really two questions on this pasuk. The first is, why boker v'yoda Hashem es asher lo? Why do we wait until morning for Hashem to make known the ones who he has chosen as the leaders of the Jewish people? But that's a question we're going to put aside for the moment. The second question Netivot Shalom asks is, if Hashem was trying to show, or Moshe was trying to tell Korach v'Adaso that there will be one party, one group of Leviim, of Kohanim, that will be chosen, and Hashem will make known that they are the chosen ones to serve in the Mishkan, to serve in this leadership capacity, then why does the pasuk repeat 3 times what this particular group is called, right? Boker v'yoda Hashem, in the morning Hashem will make known, number 1, es asher lo, that which is his. Ves hakadosh v'yikri v'elav, and that which is holy, and that which he will draw closer to him. That's number 2. And number 3, Ves asher yivchar bo yakri v'elav, and the one that he will choose, he will draw close to himself. Hashem will draw them close to him. So why repeat these 3 types of titles, these 3 types of categorizations when speaking about the same, perhaps, group of people? So Netivot Shalom says that it's not the same group of people, and that their roles are a little bit different, and the categories that Moshe Rabbeinu uses to refer to them are actually quite apt and fitting. He says, Yesh lomar, denamru kan gimel dargos be'avodas Hashem. What's being singled out in this pasuk is actually 3 levels of the service of God. Avodas haLeviim, avodas haKahanim, u'lamala mehem haKohen haGadol shu hanivchar mitoch kol ha'am hanivchar. The level of avoda of the Leviim, the level of avoda of the Kohanim, and above them all, the level of the avoda of the Kohen Gadol. Inyan avodas haLeviim hu kmo shekasav Rambam. What's the idea of the service of Leviim? It's like the Rambam says in Hilchos Shmita v'Yova. Sheshevet Levi hu cheil Hashem ligyono shel melech sheHashem chelcho v'nachlato. The Leviim are like the entourage of Hashem. They're like God's army, God's legion. Kmo shemetar sham sheLeviim porkim am atzmam es kol inyanei olam hazeh. They're the ones who separate themselves from all the issues of the world, and they devote themselves entirely to the service of God. Like the legion of a king, abandons everything in terms of their own interest, and their entire life is focused on devoting, protecting, serving the king. So too with the Leviim. And therefore, Alehem Ne'amar, they're the first ones referred to in the pasuk, V'yoda Hashem es asher lo, and God will make known the one that is his. Bashem chel Hashem, they're his. They are his chayil. They're his servers. They're his servants. They're his army. They're his legion. They are asher lo. V'yoda lashon dveikus, and of course the yoda that God will make known is from the word ladad, yada, which of course in the context of the Chumash means very, very close type of relationship, like the relationship of Adam and Achava, of husband and wife. It's indicative of a dveikus, the tightest form of relationship possible, and that's the relationship that he has with the Leviim. The Leviim who are like his legion, who just come very, very close and stick to him. V'achar kach ne'amar, the next categorization in the pasuk is not et asher lo, but ve'et hakadosh v'yikri v'elav, and that which is holy, and that which God will draw near him. Zeh kayal avodas hakehuna. That's the second level of service. That's the level of the Kohanim. V'inyano api mashe mevayer hamasilas yisharim. What's the whole job and the profile of the Kohanim? That you can look to the Mesilas Yesharim for. In the 26th parak of Mesilas Yesharim, he is magdir. He creates a certain level of description and of categorization of the concept of Tahara and Kedusha, of purity and of holiness. De tahor hu mi shemetar atzmo meharel mechomrios. Purification is when you rid yourself of impurities. It's when you rid yourself of evil, you rid yourself of physicality. Ulamala mizeh, but above that level of ridding yourself of tahora, hidargas kodesh. That's the level of holiness. She'af hagashmius shelo hi bikdusha. That even the physicality of the world is done in a way of kedusha. Not only are you shedding the physicality so that you can remain spiritual, but you're actually taking the physicality and elevating it to a higher level of spirituality. You're using it in your avodas Hashem. Shu atzmo niya kehechal ukemizbeach ve'achilaso ke'achilas korban she'akohanim ochlim u'bailim miskaprim. If you rise to that level of service like the Kohanim, in which you take the Chomrius, you take the Gashmius, and you elevate it, you use it in your service of Kedusha, then your entire being, your entire body becomes like a Mikdash. It becomes holy. It becomes like a Mizbeach. It becomes like a Heichal. You elevate yourself to an entirely new level. V'hainu shavodas HaKohanim madregas Kedusha. The level of service of the Kohanim is comparable to the level of Kodesh, of Kedusha. Zehu v'es HaKadosh v'krivei. That's why in the second categorization of the Pasuk, Hashem refers to the Kadosh, the holy ones. That's the Kohanim who he brings closer. The Levium are the lower level. The Levium are in the level of Tahora, of the people that shed the Gashmius of the world, and they come to serve God, and they purify themselves to serve God, but they don't rise to the level of Kodesh, where they actually use physicality to elevate it and become spiritual. And that's evident even from what we know about their avoda. The Levium are the ones who sing. The Levium are the ones who serve. The Levium are the ones who wash. The Levium are the ones who do all kinds of functionary duties. They are like the legion, the servants of God, who separated themselves from having fields and having homes and having lives in order, and owning land and having a tribal territory. They separate themselves from the world in order to come close to God. That's a great level. That's tahor, that's purity. When you shed the chomrios, you shed the gashmios, and they're the ones that are referred to at asher lo, that God is close to. He has devekos with them. He brings them close because they serve him. They're his legion. But the second level of not asher lo, but et hakadosh, the ones who are holy, are a little bit more elevated than that. That's the kohanim, who not only play music and serve and wash, but they're the ones who actually are makriv, the korbanos. They take physicality, whether it's an animal or it's a mincha or it's a libation or anything else, and they transform that physical item into something of spirituality, into something of holiness. That's an even higher level than tahor. Tahor is you shed the chomrius. Kadosh means you take the chomrius and you elevate it. So that's the first two divisions of the pasuk. The third one is, and the one God chooses, he will draw close to him. So there is et asher lo, belonging to God. There's being kadosh, that's Levium and Kohanim, and now this third level of bechira, of the one that God chooses. Hi madrega shlishis, that's the third and highest level. Shemitoch hakohanim yesh madrega yoser gevoa shel hakohen hagadol, shi hamadrega ha'elyona she'ein lamala mimena. Amongst the Kohanim, that second categorization, Levium, Kohanim, there's one who God chooses to be even holier than the rest. That, of course, is the status of the Kohen Gadol, who has the status of Bechira. Kadosh Baruch Hu Bachar bo, he chooses him. That's the explanation of the three categorizations of the pasuk. So really what Hashem or Moshe was telling at Korach v'Adaso at this point is Boker ve'yoda Hashem. In the morning Hashem will make known those who will lead the Jewish people. And those who will lead will be a threefold group. Number one, it's an entire group that will lead, but there's three divisions. The Levium that he chooses, the Levium that are his, the Kohanim that are Kadosh, and the Kohen Gadol that he chooses. Those are the three divisions. Now he goes on to explain the meaning of these three divisions and how it fits into the story of our Parsha of Korach v'Adaso. Es hadvarim ha'elush yesh gimel madregos chalukos Levi kahuna v'kuhana gedola. Heishiv Moshe tshuva l'ta'anosav shel Korach. It's not just that Moshe is randomly mentioning these three divisions, or that he's mentioning it because in the morning they will become known. But this was the direct attack against Korach. Using these words, Moshe was specifically attacking the issue that Korach had brought to the table. Ki bazeh haya pgam shel Korach v'Adaso. Because etzem zeh, in this issue itself of the divisions of the Jewish people, was the fault and the sin and the mistake of of Korach v'Hadasso. Dina HaKadosh Baruch Hu baras Klal Yisrael lios chativa achas. Hashem created the Jewish people to be one group, one unit, chativa achas. Mikam Yisrael goy echad ba'aretz. The way we're referred to is, who is like your nation, God? One nation, goy echad ba'aretz. We are echad, we are one. That's how we were created and envisioned by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ve'achdu shel Klal Yisrael nivnes mikach sheyesh behem gimel madregos. Kohanim, Leviim, Yisraelim. V'chol elu ashloshim mekabelin dein midein, u'mekusharim kulam ke'echad, v'al yedei zeh notzer hagoy echad. An amazing thought, says Netivot Shalom. The only way that we can be chativa achas, the only way that we can be one entire unit of the Jewish people is because we have divisions. It's because God implanted within that one chativa achas the divisions of Kohanim, Leviim, and Yisraelim, all of whom give to one another, all of whom take from one another, all of whom have a role to play that is different than one another, but it's because all of their roles are different that we can come together, give each other what the other one can't give, and create one whole unit that sustains everybody. Korach disagreed with this fundamental principle about the building of the Jewish people. The Korach Paligal Shalom. Korach was the opposite of peace, of unity, of shleimus. He was holding himself in the alma de piruda, in the separated world, in the world of divisions, where we're not one people. Netivot Shalom explains, she'im zeh guf echad, shekol chalakav kshurim u'muchadim, harei be'achrei achalav lios morkav mimadrego shonas chaluko zo mizo, v'tzorech rosh l'kulam. In a world where you have one group that is unified because of their differences, you have to have one leader to be able to show them the way. Umishum hachi nenash Korach ba'onesh hagaro b'yoser shenivra bria miyuchedes lehein ansho lefi shachet shel Korach hu pegam gadol b'klal Yisrael. That's why the punishment of Korach was so severe, because his rebellion was not just against the leadership of Moshe and Aaron, it was against one of the fundamental building blocks and principles and ideas behind the formation of the Jewish people. We understand that people are different, and that everybody, as we are created beings with our own neshama, with our own body, every single person is different. It's impossible that people are identical. And so the only way to have true unity is if we each contribute what we have that's unique to us and realize that we rely on everyone else to provide us that which we're not perfect at, that which we cannot provide for ourselves, that which we're not good at. And if we complement ourselves, then we truly become one unit. If you think about it, you have a pack of identical pencils, and they're all one next to each other. Okay, so when you look at that pack of pencils, you have a bunch of pencils that are stuck next to each other. They happen to be next to each other. But if you have pencils that are curved in different ways, they're not so straight, and the only way for them to fit together in the pack is that this one curves around this one, and the other one curves this way. Each of their shapes fit into one another. When you look at that pack of pencils, that's not just pencils that happen to be next to each other. Those are pencils that fit together, that lock together, that form one integrated picture and package and whole because of the way they fit next to each other, not because they're randomly next to each other. That's the grand vision of the Jewish people, not that we're identical. It's impossible to have identical people. And even if we were identical, we wouldn't need each other. We would each be our own individuals, totally self-sufficient. But we're not self-sufficient. Every person is lacking in some way and has what to bring in certain ways. And only when we come together and fit together and mesh with each other do we really form one unified whole. That's the concept that Hashem implanted in the Jewish people, and that's the concept that Korach was so opposed to. The whole idea of unity is implicit in this parsha. And the Netivot Shalom says very beautifully that that's perhaps why the end of the parsha, the aftermath of Korach v'Hadasso, the rebellion of Korach, is that Torah describes the matnos kahuna, the 24 gifts to the Kohanim and the Leviim that they would get, Truma and Meiser and Bechor and everything else that's described in our parsha, the gifts that the Jewish people bring to the Kohanim and Leviim. Netivot Shalom says that's exactly why it ends on that note, to reinforce this point about the way that we fit together and become one unified whole. The way we do that is by giving and by receiving. that every person is simultaneously a giver and a receiver. The Jewish people receive many services from the Kohanim Leviim, and they give back matnos kahuna. The Leviim and the Kohanim receive matnos kahuna from the Jewish people, and in turn give back in terms of their service. Everyone gives and takes. Their roles are not identical, but it's because of that give and take that they learn to mesh, to rely on each other, and to unify into one chativa achas. See what Shalom says. Torah kedosha melamedes lanu orchos chayim, velo ba Torah l'saper ma she'ira im Korach. It's not important, I shouldn't say it's not important, it is important, but the most important part of the parsha is not to learn what happened in the particular incident of Korach va'adaso so many years ago. The important part of this parsha and this story is to see something in Korach that can teach us about orchos chayim, about the way we're supposed to live our lives. Lamedotanu shelo ihyeh kekorach v'chadaso, to teach us not to follow in their ways, not to fall prey to that kind of vision of individuals, of the collective, of the world, of the Jewish people. Shelo yeh od hapagam shel Korach pagam hapirud sha'emtzai limno es hapirud lechazek es ha'achdus hu va'ani hinei natati lecha es mishmeres trumosai lechol kodshe b'nei Yisrael. Our job is to learn the lesson, to not fall into the trap of viewing the world in a pirud fashion, but rather to view the world as achdus. And the only way to do that is to understand that there's a concept of matnos kahuna. The concept of giving is what creates a bond between two people. When you give to another person, it almost doesn't matter, says the Netivot Shalom, who's the giver and who's the taker. What matters more is that giving creates a relationship, like the relationship of a couple, where you have the concept of ahava. Ahava comes from the Aramaic word hav, which means to give. The basis of love, the basis of relationships is being able to give. What creates that feeling of love within a person, you would think off the cuff that it's because you received something from someone else, but it's not. It's the power of giving. To give to another person is to create that bond. And when it's a two-way giving street and taking street, where every individual is both a giver and a taker at different times, bringing their own expertise to the fore and receiving in times when they're lacking, that's when you mesh together and create chativa achas ba'olam, mika amcha Yisrael, goy echad ba'aretz. Hopefully we should be able to achieve that and be inspired towards that vision by the stories of Korach va'adaso and their deep failings, but by contrast, the lesson of the matnos kahuna and of Moshe's trifold response about the nature of the Jewish people that we see in our parsha. Shabbat Shalom.